we got to a point where we found that we were banging our heads. We couldn't get beyond a certain threshold, and we couldn't work out why we were doing that, and we were trying to do things within the business, tweak things within the business, and wondering why it wasn't working, but also not giving it the time it needed to assess why we were doing what we were doing and whether we were doing things right or wrong.
Business leaders have to change their role. At some point, if it's an SME, they're fairly involved in the day-to-day operation of the business. I sometimes describe it as being a bit on the tools, not literally on the tools, but mentally on the tools. And part of their job is to learn to become much more of the MD of the company and allow the team around them to grow and to develop and actually to take over some of the roles that he or she was once doing. And that's quite difficult for people to do. So there's two parts to that process. The leader has to stand back and allow the team to grow, and he or she then has to actually teach them and guide them into those new roles. So it's quite tricky because everybody's on a learning journey.
My name's Alistair Wallace. I'm one of the founders of BKB Accountants. I set this practice up in 2005. 4 clients, day one, has now turned into around 1,500, 2,000 clients now. We've got 25 staff. Our barriers have always been staff numbers because there's only so many people that you can manage, and we didn't have a system here at BKB that enabled us to have a proper hierarchy of people in place. So when we looked at it, when James made us look at what our system is and draw our organisational chart out, we found it was all very disjointed, and we then realised, it became very obvious that it wasn't, we needed to get more structure within the practice. So we very quickly looked at what we had, the strengths of the guys here, what strengths they had, so we could make sure then that the staff were focusing on the staff strengths, and we've now got a proper organisational chart in place, which is very clear, and when you talk to the staff they can see it as well. They know the team seem very gelled together now. The staff here have really seen a big impact, but they've seen changes in both of us, and what James has done has enabled us to get closer to the staff and understand their situation better, because if we can keep the staff happy, the staff keep the clients happy. I do recommend James. I actually actively recommend James to my clients. I can see that clients, I can spot those clients where they need help. They need to get inside their finances and have somebody that has the time and expertise to help people look at their business. I think we've grown by 25% since we've taken James on, which is quite an achievement, to be honest. And we wouldn't have been able to take that volume of clients on if we didn't have James, because we would have lost clients because we weren't giving the service. We weren't continuing the level of service that we were giving.